Hello and welcome to Angela's Busy Bees Garden and Homestead. And guys, today I would like to give you a tour of my garden in mid-August of 2021. And just to demonstrate to you that you can grow your own food. And as I do the tour, I'll be pointing out the different vegetables or fruits that are growing in my garden. Here we have several banana peppers. Over here we have Swiss chard that I need to pull all of the dead leaves or the eaten leaves out and encourage new growth. Here I have okra, a few carrots left, look like a few beets, celery, and some red onions. In buckets I have potatoes. In these containers I have peppers and lettuce. Over in this bed I have lima beans, oregano, and thyme. In this bed I have collards and kale. In this bed I have white strawberries and a few volunteer tomatoes. And in these pots I have cucumbers. I have some tomatoes in this container that have produced and are dying back now. But over here I see some new Roma tomatoes coming on. So I'm happy I didn't pull it out so quickly. Over here I have my cherry 100s, and they are still putting on fruit, as you can see. Some of the leaves have died back and I just need to prune it. Over here I have more tomatoes. I see one here that's ripe. A few more coming. In this bed I have collard greens, and as you can see, when we really received a lot of hot weather, that's when the insects really started attacking my vegetables, but I'm just going to prune them back and encourage new growth. Over here I have asparagus and a few sugar baby watermelon. In this bed I have okra, as you can see, eggplant, onions, bell peppers, and I've also sprinkled in some carrot seeds, and I have some onions left in this bed. Over here is my herb bed, and I also have some perennial flowers to encourage pollinators. But as far as the herbs, I have rosemary, oregano, thyme, sage, black-eyed Susans, and parsley. In this bed, this is where I had my broccoli and some onions, and also I've added a cucumber plant to this bed. Here I have a fig tree in a container. Here I have a peach tree in a container, and we had our very first peach on yesterday, and I have another one that's ripe that I'll be getting today. In this bed I have more okra, as you can see, eggplant, and peppers in the front. Here's a volunteer tomato that just came up out of the wood chips. Here I have peppers. These are the serrano chili peppers, and these are the habanero peppers. This is a grapevine that was planted this year. It has already started trellising along this fence. I have more okra here, as you can see. and they are planted in the ground. And I didn't get out yesterday because it was raining, but as you can see, I've got okra that I need to harvest this morning. Here's a plum tree in a container. Here I have some corn, and even though it's only about 4 feet tall, some are 3 feet tall, they're trying to put on little ears of corn. Here's a container apple tree, green beans, and a couple of perennial flowers for pollinators to come to the garden to help pollinate my vegetables. I have potatoes in these pots and more okra here. As you can see, I love okra. And here is another grapevine that I planted this year that is forming along the fence here. And some more serrano chili peppers. Here I have some spearmint and a plum tree that produced fruit for the first year in 2021. Here is where I have my squash, zucchini, and yellow crooked neck squash. They were all in here. And I harvested one zucchini from here recently, but look like the squash vine borer is attacking. So some of them have already been pulled out, but I do see a zucchini there coming on there in the back. In these containers where the grass is coming up, I need to get in here and clean up this area, but nonetheless, these are sweet potatoes in containers. There are 2, 4, 6 containers of sweet potatoes. I have tomatoes in this container, and as you can see, I have 2 that I need to harvest. And I have 3 over here that hasn't been staked up but need to be harvested, and a few over here. And along this fence line here are my loofahs. There's one. Here's another one. A super long one here. And there are a few more that I have seen that have attached to this fence that are growing nicely. Tomatoes, as you can see. In this growing bag here, I have some green beans. And over here, I have field peas. These are field peas. In this bed, I have black beans. And here are the black beans coming on. Still producing since I planted them in early spring. In these containers, I have celery, and I see a caterpillar eating on this celery, as you can see here. I've got red giant mustard greens, and I see where the seeds are coming up. And in this container I have some lettuce. They have not come up as of yet. And I planted carrots in this one. They have not come up as of yet. Along this fence here, I have grapes, and they need to be harvested today. Okay. And this concludes a tour of the garden area here, which is what I refer to as my market garden. Oh, in containers over here, I have 1 cayenne pepper, potatoes growing. This is a weed, but potatoes will be coming up out of here. And here is a bell pepper. Just need to stake it up. In this area of my garden, I have blackberries along the fence line here and also here. And you can always tell the vines that produce fruit this year because they will die back and then they will spring forth new growth, and the new growth will produce fruit next year. So it's very easy to prune blackberries because they will tell you which vines to cut because they will dry out and die. But in this garden area, I have strawberries, and I've planted 1 cantaloupe in here to see what it'll do. I have some marigolds for the pollinators, bell peppers, sage. This is my Texas Star hibiscus. I'm waiting on my next bloom. Here we have cayenne peppers, a few banana peppers, and some sage, and 1 onion there that's left. Over here I have more bell peppers and habanero peppers. Here's a yellow bell that has already fallen off, but here are the habanero peppers. Here I have green beans that are just starting to form on here. Bell peppers and eggplant in this bed. Bell peppers and eggplant in this bed. Cucumbers also along the fence. Bell peppers, a volunteer cucumber, and eggplant also in this bed. I've got a lot of staking up to do, but as you can see, there is a eggplant coming on there. More grapes that need to be harvested on this side of the fence as well. I have tomatoes in that container, tomatoes and basil. Here's some kale, and this is a cucumber that looked like something was attacking it, so I'm going to throw it away. I've left space in this container to grow some more things in it, but primarily it was tomatoes and peppers. Here is tomatoes and basil, the purple basil, lemon balm. Guys, this is the a plant that I received from Diva Jones 03. This is the Comfrey, and I purchased a little small piece from her, and look how it has multiplied. It also flowered, so I'm looking forward to chop and drop or making comfrey tea. And here I have my blueberries, more lemon balm here. I had peppermint in this container, but I lost it due to the heat. And I have spearmint in that pot there in the back, and I see there's some grass that's trying to take over in there. I have to pull that out. Here in this pot I have some sage, more lima beans and herbs such as thyme and thyme, and I had parsley. Over here is an overgrown herb bed. I have lavender, rosemary, sage, oregano, onion chives, and parsley. And the new growth from my blackberries are really trying to take over, and I may have to cut the branches back because it's providing too much shade to my herbs over here in the corner. In these containers I have some mustard greens that are coming back because I thought I had pulled all of them out, but that's okay. I've got one eggplant in here. In this one there's cherry 100 tomatoes, and I have a few tomatoes I need to harvest. Here is my Swiss chard, and in this one I have some more peppers. And the way I propagate my blackberries is by taking the tip of the new growth branch and sticking it in soil, and in a couple of months it would have rooted in the pot, and at that time I can just simply clip it off where however tall I would like for it the plant to be, just clip it off and it will be a separate plant on its own. So you can't do it with the vines that are dying back like this one. You have to do it with the ones that are producing the new growth, because this is dying off. You want the new growth. Okay, over here I have more tomatoes, more peppers. I'm glad I didn't pull these tomatoes out when they first started dying back, because as you can see, it's still trying to produce more tomatoes. I have peppers all in the back here. Basil, there were tomatoes in here as well. Celery. So now I see what has been attacking my celery. It's these caterpillars. Peppers there, and more tomatoes there in the back. Basil. All of these are volunteer raspberry bushes that I'm going to dig up eventually and put in a pot of soil. Bell peppers, as you see here, I need to get these. For some reason, these two bell pepper plants are dying back. I don't know what's causing the issue, but I'm going to go on and pull them out. And then, of course, more grapes along this fence line. And these are the muscadine grapes. And there's another loofah there. I also have grapes along here, which are the Concord grapes. And I need to go in and start doing some harvesting of these Concord grapes. As you can see. More grapes on this side of the fence. These are the Concord grapes. And over here I have my fig tree. I see I have a few figs I can harvest today before the birds. And I have to wash it before I eat it. Okay, I'm going to do a little harvesting, and then I'll come back and share with you what I've been able to harvest for the day. And here is my harvest for the day. I've got lots of peppers, bell peppers, red, orange, yellow, banana peppers, cayenne peppers, habanero peppers, and serrano chili peppers. Tomatoes, fresh basil, okra and 1 onion, muscadine grapes, figs, field peas, cucumber, and 1 zucchini. This is the zucchini, and here are the cucumbers. And this is my harvest of the day. Please grow your own food if you are not already doing so. It's not hard. You can grow in a container, in the ground, in pots, in raised beds. It's all up to you. But by growing your own food, you save so much money on your grocery bill, and you know where your food comes from and how it was grown. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and if so, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. God bless. Bye-bye.